Saxon Course 2, Lesson 105 is on the surface area of a right solid and surface area of a sphere. So to find the surface area of this triangular prism, we had to find the area of all of the sides of the shape. Okay, so we know that we have the area of two different triangles, because there was a triangle in the front, which means there has to be a triangle back here in the back where we can't see it. Okay, so the area of the triangle has to equal base times height divided by 2. So it's going to be 3 centimeters times 4 centimeters divided by 2. Now I have two of those triangles, so I'm going to do it again. 3 centimeters times 4 centimeters divided by 2. So that is equal to 6 centimeters squared. Okay, now I have the area of 3 different rectangles. Because a triangle has 3 sides, that must mean that there's 3 rectangles connecting the triangle. So I have one here, there's going to be one on this back side, and then there's going to be one here on the bottom. So the first rectangle and I'm going to go ahead and erase this so I have more room. Alright, so rectangle 1 has to be 6 times 5. Length times width, to equal to 30 centimeters squared. Rectangle 2, which would be in the back, would have to be 4 times 6, which is equal to 24 centimeters squared. And then rectangle 3, which is on the bottom, would have to be 3 times 6 as length times width, which is equal to 18 centimeters squared. So to find the total surface area, I'm going to add up these amounts. So I have 6 centimeters squared, 6 centimeters squared, 30, 24, and 18. After adding those all up together, I end up with 84 centimeters squared as my total surface area. Okay, on this one, it wants to know the area of the label on a soup can with the dimensions shown, and then the total surface area. So with this one, if I were to take this can of soup and break it up into parts, the label would look like a rectangle that's wrapping around the 2 circles of the lid and the base. Okay, so first, just with this label, the circumference is equal to the length of my square. This would be the circumference of the circle, because that's what it's wrapping around. And then this is just going to be the height of the can. Okay, so we call this the lateral area and the lateral surface area. Okay, so to find this, I'm going to do, for the length is going to be pi times diameter, because that's the circumference. And the height, of course, will just be the height. So to write this out, the circumference, which was pi times diameter, would be 7 times 22 sevenths, which is what it says to use for pi. Okay, so the 7's cancel, becomes 1. So the length is going to be 22. And you multiply that times the height. And the height of my can is 10 centimeters. So 22 times 10 centimeters is equal to 220 centimeters squared. So that's the area of the label, 220 centimeters squared. Now let's find the total surface area of this can of soup. So I need to find the area of the lid and the base. So the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. So that will be 22/7 times the radius squared. So this will be 7/2 squared. That's the way I'm going to write it. This way I can cancel. So I can cancel the 7s. 7s become 1s. 22 and 2 cancel. 22 becomes an 11. So I'm left with 11 over 1 times 7 over 2. Because I forgot, since it's squared, this is also going to be multiplying by 7 over 2. So I canceled 1 out. So now I have 11 times 7, which is equal to 77. 1 times 2 is equal to 2. So 77 seconds, centimeters squared, or if you want to change that into a decimal, it would be 38.5 centimeters squared for the answer. Okay, now for a sphere, a surface area of a sphere is equal to 4 times pi r squared. So for this tennis ball, the diameter is 6 centimeters. And then I want to find the surface area. So first I need to figure out the radius would have to equal 3 centimeters because it's half of the diameter. So if it's equal to 4 pi r squared, that's going to equal 4 times 3.14 times 3 squared, which will equal 4 times 3.14 times 9. After I multiply all those numbers together, my answer is 113.04 centimeters squared. Okay, this last one wants me to find the total surface area of this figure. So you're going to find out how many surfaces there are. In this figure, there are 8 surfaces. Okay. So I would split up this shape into its separate pieces. Okay, have to divide it up like this. And you just find the surface area of each of these sides. And then you have to find it again because you have to have the back and then the right hand side. Okay. Alright, and that's it for this lesson.